Hey guys, welcome to the Community Cares Podcast. I'm Dave. I'm the Executive Director here at Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet.
And I'm Chaplain Chaz Blackburn, and I have the honor of being the president of the Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet. And today we have a really special person who's a friend and like family to us, and so I'll let you introduce yourself.
We even have a home. It's beautiful. So I'm Kristopher Dahir. I'm a city councilman for the city of Sparks, and honored to be here. A few different hats I wear. I do some chaplain work. I've been a pastor for a long time, but more than anything, family and friend. So it's good.
Hey, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. You've been a good friend to me when things have gotten darker and down, and then when things are awesome. So you've been there through a lot of that. I really appreciate it. And not only that, a supporter of Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet in a lot of ways. So
thank you.
Thank you.
Honored.
Just so you guys know, I laughed at the beginning because Dave's really particular about what we have on the table for aesthetics, and so I snuck this on here.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that won't be living there. I promise you that.
It's funny. We were talking about last time Kristopher was here, and he asked some really just thought-provoking questions. So I didn't know I was going to get a therapy session today.
I know. I guess we'll see. We'll see. You never know. You never know.
I do have some things on my mind.
Uh-oh. So if you're new or newish to the Community Cares Podcast, this is a weekly podcast where we share upcoming things happening in the community, and we also highlight a community resource or a public figure near the end of the show. But we always start with upcoming events within the community. So thank you for those who listen. We've been averaging around 1,000 people watching after we air the show. So thank you for being a part of that. I mean, if you're listening, chances are you're part of that. So you're the people that are downloading and sharing and being a part of what we're doing in the community, because we really are better together. And
congratulations, you're about to be a dad soon, right?
Yeah, there's been a lot of back and forth to the hospital, trying to figure things out, running, and it could be any day now.
Well, we thank you for being here and taking the time out.
Yeah,
to be with your
course.
wife.
No. It's a blessing. I love being part of this, and I get to hang out with my friends and talk about good things happening in the community. So if you would like to know more about Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet, please visit getclothes.org. And now we're going to get into some community events.
I'm excited about this one.
The first one we're going to highlight is the Holiday Lights Festival. Last year, so our friends at Great American Craft Fair, who always donate a booth to us, Brighton Dennison, he is a great friend to the show, great friend of Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet, and we're going to be at this event, and it's their Holiday Lights Festival. You were there last year?
Yeah, it was an awesome event. Some good hot chocolate and coffee.
Yeah.
I think they had a few coffee trucks, right?
Yeah, they had a great mead station. I loved that one. Nice, some hot mead, on a cold day is awesome.
It was pretty cold. I remember that.
Yeah, it was chilly last year.
Do you ever go to East Sparks West Sparks? Excuse me.
I take out my passport every once in a while and head that direction.
Yeah, no, it's a great event. So definitely come and check it out. There's cozy comfort foods to tasty treats. There's something for everyone, for every craving. That will be November 29th and 30th from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. in downtown Reno. It really is a fun event. Last year they had a whole lighting rig, and the Grinch came and visited, and all sorts of things. And I don't think I could announce what they're having, because Brighton told me some stuff that was happening that could be pretty crazy. But let me just put it this way: if you're listening or watching this, you don't want to miss it. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
And we're also going to be in the better city of Sparks for a Christmas parade, right?
I was about to say, come on, boys.
We're in the Sparks Christmas parade. An anonymous donor decided they wanted to donate a spot for us for the parade, and they're helping us get the float together and everything, so we're all signed up, and so we're going to be in the Sparks Christmas Parade.
Well, if I can give a couple of details of that weekend.
Please.
I know a few things. So the night before, on that Friday night, there's a tree lighting that goes on, and
Yeah.
it's pretty fantastic. And you come down and get some hot chocolate and different things, and then we get to light the tree, and it's always very special. So if you're available for that, come on down. And downtown, I think it's at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
When it gets dark.
So what day is that?
That's on Friday night, right before the parade.
Okay, very
Parade
cool.
is the next day, but that whole weekend you also have our 39 North Christmas time that we have together.
Yeah.
and so they have all kinds of stuff going on.
Craft fair.
Yeah, craft fair, you name it. So it's going to be pretty exciting.
It was pretty cool last year. Nika and I checked out the 39 North, and there was some cool crafts stuff. And it gets harder in Sparks and Reno when it gets colder. It makes you not want to be outside. Like, truly.
Well, if there's coffee, it
Yeah,
works. I'm
that's
just
right.
saying.
I know. But last year, the whole tent and everything you guys had, and definitely a vibe with the coffee, and you get a sweater, and you have a big sweater, Chaz, that you like.
I do
all
actually.
cozy.
I
Do you
found
miss your
one at
sweaters?
the. Oh my goodness! What is that? Oh, Cracker Barrel. I found an incredible Christmas sweater last weekend, and I had to buy it, and I did. So I will
Christmas
wear
sweater.
that. And you
Dude.
promised me I could ride on the float this year.
Yeah, well, we'll see. You
No,
never know.
no.
We'll see. I don't know. President doesn't have that many privileges, so.
That's like the oldie privilege, right? No, I'm just kidding. But I've always been jealous seeing you guys. Usually, you guys go on the float, right?
We do,
Yeah.
we do. And sadly, this is the one year I actually have to miss the parade.
What?
I actually have.
We're gonna be there, man.
I know. That's why I'm not going to be. No, that's not it. No. I have a longtime family member friend that his daughter's getting married, and
Okay.
I'm doing the wedding.
Congrats.
So it's
wow.
really cool. But I almost told him, dude, you can't do it that day. But it doesn't work that way, really.
No.
So I'll be in Vegas, and sadly, for the first time ever in 8 years, I mean, I've never missed.
Wow.
And as a matter of fact, I've actually made my wife move stuff for this. But I'm no lie. That's why she's looking at me. The other day we're talking, and she's looking at me like, so we're gonna miss the parade. I'm all,
no.
Yes. We're gonna miss it.
I know. Exactly. So it's kind of
Oh,
a bummer.
man.
It'll
Wow.
be fun though.
Well, it's
You'll
gonna
be
be a lot of
missed.
fun, and we're gonna miss you, but we'll be there. You know.
So represent
We'll
well.
represent.
I just like throwing candy at people.
Yeah, as long as it's not hard candy, right?
Yes.
Wear my
That's
City
happened to
of
me
Reno
once.
hat.
I was in Virginia City for a parade, and someone threw a lollipop and it hit my
Ouch.
head.
That
I was
could be
like,
dangerous.
"Ow, dude!
Yeah.
Like, chill.
Yeah.
That can hurt. So we're gonna pick soft candy.
Oh, there you go.
I would encourage that. I actually once hit a lady in the face. No, this is true. And I did, and then we were walking back, and I saw her, and I had to come up and say, I'm so
Oh my goodness.
I'm the one that hit you in the face, and she was fine. But I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't mean to. I mean, everyone's asking for it.
It's like,
Oh
At
no!
least you said sorry though.
I
Right?
did. Oh, I felt so bad.
Oh
I was all-
man!
I started pointing at Donald.
It was him. It was him. Wasn't me. That's funny. Yeah, no, it's I mean, it's not funny. It's sad when people get hurt. That's not good.
She lived. She was
I'm
fine.
glad she lived. But she might have a welt in the next
Yeah.
morning. Ooh. So yeah, we'll do soft candy. Let's learn from
Yes.
our friend over here. And
Good point.
soft candy. What's your favorite soft candy, Chess?
I like Reese's. White chocolate
Reese's?
Reese's are pretty awesome.
Okay, that's not a bad one.
However,
I've seen them at Costco. I
They've been
think.
finding supposedly maggots in there. I don't know if that's true. So,
What?
so I'm not sure that I would get Reese's. We're
know
not
what?
I've
sponsored by
never
Reese's.
heard that.
You know what?
Extra protein.
You're not eating it.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Reese's. No.
Are you serious?
No, I'm serious. Yeah. So
Obviously, this podcast is not sponsored by Reese's.
this is all for entertainment purposes only.
Oh
so
my
don't get sued.
goodness, that's crazy! Wow. Anyways, the
Gummy
next
bears.
event we're
Do
gonna talk
gummy
about.
bears.
Gummy bears are safe.
Yeah,
yes.
We do little bags of gummy bears. Yeah,
yeah,
that's not
that'd
bad.
be
What is it? What's the popular one? Haribo. Haribo.
Oh yeah, Haribo.
Is that what it's called? I don't know. That's the popular one. It's out of, I think.
And you be careful
Europe.
because there's some gummy bear like things out there
Yeah.
you don't want to throw in the crowd.
That's true.
You know, Nika and I, we don't eat gummy bears because it has gelatin in it.
Oh.
You know what gelatin is?
Yeah, animal bones, granted.
It's animal bones. And we're
really?
vegetarians, so we're like, you know what?
well,
That's a
that's a
line.
bummer. Wow.
That's a line. So anything with gelatin, we try not to eat. sometimes, you never know with stuff's in things, but we try to avoid gelatin.
Gotcha.
No rib cook-off, no gummy bears. This doesn't sound fun.
There's lots of things for me to eat at the rib cook-off, though.
Yeah.
Like, I've had corn and fried zucchini and stuff.
Well, you could throw ribs at people and corn.
Yeah, let's just throw ribs at people,
Dude,
right?
Aren't you ready for re-election? No.
I would stand in the crowd if you're throwing ribs at me.
Oh,
Mouth
I would
open.
catch them, yeah.
Oh my goodness! All right, let's get to the next event. We're having too much fun.
This is way fun. This is way better.
I knew. This is your third time on the podcast with us, and it's always a fun time having you on. So thank you. It's been a while since we've had you on at this point, but But I'm gonna be checking my phone and watch and all sorts of things because I just drove my wife back from an appointment and she was like breathing real deep. I'm like, oh, this is not good. We're getting close. I mean, it's a huge blessing, but it is definitely getting closer.
So I'll tell you, I remember when we had our first kid, it was back in the day that I had a beeper because there was no cell phones. And I'd be at work and all of a sudden, I'd be like, it's just my wife checking on. I'm like, quit calling the beeper. I was freaking out, man. Because every time it went off, I think we're having the baby. Oh, yeah.
That's how I feel too. So I'm like, I'm stressing. And I was like, because we just recorded a pre-recorded episode. We're gonna have pre-recorded for the next couple weeks because of things going on. And I was just like, all right, I'm gonna drive down to South Reno, come back here within 30 minutes. Made it.
Great,
And she's doing okay, but definitely some stress at home, just getting all that figured out. And we got the nursery all done. It's all done the way she wants it. And
beautiful.
Yeah, so we're super blessed. Thank you everyone who supported us personally. I know a lot of my friends watch the show, so thank you guys. And the second event we're going to talk about is our open house fundraiser on Giving Tuesday here at Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet. That's on December 3rd. And we're going to be doing the podcast here live as well. So there's going to be some in-person things with that and some digital raffle and silent auction items as well. We've already gotten a $250 gift card from Wayne Nursery. Awesome. And $50 gift card from Target, and we've got all sorts of raffle prizes and silent auction items already coming in. Thank you guys for those who are listening who are a part of that. We've actually gotten some people who are donating some stuff from the community that really haven't been involved in Good Shepherd before and now are diving in. So it's really cool to see people that I don't know very well. And they're like, no, I want to help. I want to be a part of the cause. I want to be a part of what's happening in the community.
Well, one of the things you guys do, obviously, is help support a lot of our veterans, and we'd like to give back to that. I didn't know you had this going on, but we will actually, from the Nevada Veterans Memorial, donate a brick.
That's
wow.
awesome.
Yeah,
Wow.
so that's about $150 to $200 worth of a gift, and you can put that out there for somebody, and I know a lot of people will enjoy that. So
That's amazing.
I'll get you connected to count them, but count on a brick.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're involved in so much in the community. You
Just
wear
a
many
little.
hats. Many hats. Last time you were on the show, I mean, all the time I hear from my friends, oh yeah, I know that guy. Oh, I've been a part of one of his events. I've seen him around the community. I'm like, well, he's actually my friend, okay? So and but you're well known. You help a lot of people. You care about a lot of people in the community, and what you do beyond just being a council member is amazing. And I met you when I was a pastor. Mm-hmm. Were you volunteering for that class in Multnomah, or was that
that class, that actually was volunteer.
Yeah,
Volunteer
I thought it was.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to ask before I said that. But it was about how to conduct funerals and weddings. And the funeral part was, I didn't know a lot about it as a new young pastor, so that helped me out a lot on how to conduct funerals because I had a few lined up that I had to do for our congregation, and that's how we met. And then I picked your brain. I was like, I just want to get to know this guy more. You met me at a coffee shop. I think I rode a skateboard up to it or something.
Exactly.
And Christopher's probably like, who is this kid? What's going on here? But and you've always been there when I've needed support in a lot of different ways. When I started here at Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet, one of my first meetings was with you, and I was like, you know what, dude, I just need to talk. I need help. I need help formulating
how
a
we
plan.
met.
Right,
Yeah.
and then you started. I'm sorry, what is it called? The Nevada.
Christian Institute.
Thank you. And you started having the meetings once a month, beginning of the month. That's still going on, right?
Well, the Institute is, but we've not been having the morning meetings. So thanks for
Okay.
calling me out. I appreciate it.
I'm sorry.
I just kidding. No, it's just time-wise did not work out, actually. But
I gained a lot from those.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too.
Those were really great, and so and that's. And that shows a lot of your character. You're willing to step out and take risks, right? And calculate a risk. You're not dumb when you're taking a risk. Calculate a risk that really matter and that could affect change in the community. And I've met a lot of my friends through those meetings to help Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet.
we are still doing the Christian Business Network. So you know
Okay.
that is still going on, the connections, and
Right.
that's once a month. And so
Right.
anybody, if there's a Christian businessman or woman who's interested, or even if you're not a Christian, you like to hang out with Christians, you are very welcome to hang out with me anytime.
Great.
And so we love to hang out, and we do it once a month, and that's something that you get to meet a lot of people as well.
That's great. Yeah, and I've been to those, and that's always a great way to meet more people. Man, that is bugging me. It's bedazzled, man.
Let's turn it towards you. See if
Oh no! Wow.
Well, now it looks like an inappropriate
No.
word, so we're gonna go back.
Wait, what? Oh my goodness. So yeah, so it's been a lot of deep connections, and I really appreciate your support for Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet and everything you've done here for us in multiple facets, from donating financially to just helping us with events and brainstorming different ideas on a personal level too. Just the friendship you've had with me, and how you've been able to say, "Hey, Dave, have you thought about just writing this paragraph a little bit differently on your flyer?" Like down to that. I was sitting at Lighthouse Coffee, and then I was just doing some work, and you popped up. You were like, "Hey, Dave." I was like, "Oh my goodness, it's Christopher Dahir." And so we just started talking. I was like, "Hey, you know, I'd like your advice on this document." And you just helped me with that. So your willingness to help people in the community and help organizations matters a lot. Not everyone in the community does that, if that makes sense. I've reached out to other council members and other people throughout the community that are harder to get a hold of than you. So you make yourself very available. So thank you.
I've been going through a tough time, not right now, but just in the past, and you've literally sent me a text of encouragement. Had no idea what was going on, and I just appreciate all the meaningful time that you invest in relationships and your encouragement and support. So thank you for all that you do, man.
Thank you for all the nice stuff, man.
I
You
know.
guys,
I
Okay,
want to
now
be
we
real.
can ask him. No.
But now we want to ask you
No,
for a big
no.
favor. No, I'm just joking. But I am going to move that microphone a little bit down, maybe.
There you go.
there
it's
you
blocking
go.
your face.
Oh,
Yeah,
now
yeah,
you're
yeah.
hiding my goatee.
And then maybe bring it up a little bit forwards to you. Perfect.
Okay,
perfect. Thank
there you go.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So I want people to see your face.
Yeah.
You're a recognizable person, sir.
Well, I do. I know you have other announcements, but things you just brought up are a little bit on my heart and mind, because one of the things, and I was really just praying about this morning and trying to figure out a few things on my heart and get it out there. And one of the biggest things is sometimes, because we do get to even you guys get to wear a lot of titles and hats, and you guys do a lot in the community as well on your own right. And but the one thing I remember being young when I first started wanting to be a pastor, and I wanted that title so badly, actually. Truthfully, I was just 18 years old, called to ministry, and I wanted people to call me pastor, kind of thing. And it's funny, I remember having my pastor who kept looking at me, just shaking his head, and I didn't know why, because I'm called to ministry. I'm called to something, or I have a passion for something. And one of the things that I learned from him, and things I learned in my own life, is we really get to the steps we take of serving are the things that will bring us into those. Matter of fact, there are people I've seen get titles that they only hurt themselves with because they didn't have the foundation of servanthood behind it.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the thoughts. I know you always say that I bring thoughts onto the show, but what are some of the areas that you'd like to see grow and that servanthood of your life to help fill that foundation, because I think God has a lot more for you guys to do, a lot more in the future of different titles or different things to do. I mean, who knows what you'll be doing in 5-10 years? You may be running for president in 8 years, you know. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. No, but what would you say to that kind of conversation of you know, maybe, because there are people who long for titles, they long to be in charge, they long for this stuff, but it really starts, I call it, by just kicking rocks back in the planter, by picking up trash, by seeing a need and filling it. What do you think about that kind of concept?
I actually have. It's actually funny you asked that, because this has been something on my heart, and then I'll let you answer.
No, please.
But for me, you know, the titles, the roles, I've gotten to a place where I feel honored to be in a lot of different roles, but I've lost some of that one-on-one connection with service. What I mean by that is, for example, you know, I used to be just a hospice chaplain, and now I'm in different leadership roles where I don't get that one-on-one patient or one-on-three with the family, and being able to just love and be present. And that's something that I miss. So my goal for this year is to make sure that I can't necessarily slow down in certain areas, but make it a priority to have that time to do that frontline service, if that makes sense.
It does.
So even like maybe sorting clothes one day, you know, a month here. I know, and I rarely have time for that. But to make sure that, because when you get into ministry, to remember why you started,
right,
and why you're so passionate about those roles, is really important.
There are days here at Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet I will only be with volunteers and sort in the back and take donations, or days when we're open, like today, where I will just stay up front all day, just to remind myself, like, what's going on, why I'm doing it, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And help people, because, I mean, you know, we get people that are going through some very hard times here. We really do. Yeah. And to be able to interact with them and talk with them and to just be a part of their life. I don't do it all the time. I can't do it all the time. I got to go in the community. I got to do stuff. So You're absolutely right, Chaz. Like that matters.
Yeah.
So, and then the other piece, got one more thought to that, is, well,
peeling back the layers of onion.
Well, these are the questions. If you wonder what's going through, I mean, these are my devotions I have. I spend time and spend time and asking the good Lord of my heart, how do I function? Who am I? And how do you want me to proceed? And, you know, and one of the things that kept going, the difference between planned and unplanned. And in my life, I have a lot of planned. If you saw my calendar, a lot of good things get planned. I mean, really, some bad things in a sense, not bad, but things I don't love get planned. But a lot of good things. I'm in a lot of nonprofits because someone asked me to come, so I'm there. So I appreciate the nice things you said. But sometimes I'm just invited to tons of stuff, and it makes it look like, oh, he cares about all that. Some things I don't even, like, where am I going today? You know, and that's reality. That's reality.
Right.
But that's planned, and I feel like it's like the question that was given to me today in my thoughts and from the Lord is, what about the unplanned? What happens when you're walking to your car? What happens when you didn't have it on your calendar and someone walks up? What happens when you see a need? And that was kind of where I was challenged a lot. And what I'm kind of where I'm focused on a little bit is making sure that I just find a way to slow down a little bit to make sure that the unplanned moments happen. Because if you look, you know, I know I can't preach a full sermon on this show, but it's who I am. I've been a pastor a long time.
You can get pretty close if you want. So,
but if you just think of how Jesus walked, you know, we're most impressed that most of what he did was unplanned. Right. At least it seemed to us.
Right.
You know, he goes places, sees things, does things, touches people's lives, and it was, you know, all the disciples are like, what is he doing over there? You know, what is he? And it's just this unplanned moments, and I don't know. I want more unplanned.
What, I mean, was it actually unplanned though?
Well, that's the question.
Right? Is it? It's unplanned to us.
Wait a second.
Yeah,
that's why I said it seemed unplanned.
But yeah, no, I do see what you're saying. Like sometimes we get so busy with our schedule, and Chaz and I talk about this on the phone sometimes. Is just, you know, dude, I just feel like I've got so much. I just feel like I have to one of my favorite books is called What's Best Next, and it's by Matt Perman. And that concept that what really is the best thing for you to do, rather than allowing things just to hit you, right? Because it's really easy for just, okay, new email, gotta check that email, gotta respond to that email, make sure that it gets done, right? But is that really the best thing in that moment? Or are you just reacting rather than deciding how your life's going to look, right? And to have those spaces where it's empty and you're allowed to say, you know what? There's nothing here. I'm going to intentionally leave it that way so I can do the unplanned, right? I think in someone like you have to create that unplanned time. You have to, or else you could go crazy. You know that, right?
I might be there. I ran again for office.
You're there.
Exactly.
I might be there.
I saw another thing that you posted and it said remain, and I read the scripture. That was pretty powerful. Sometimes just to be able to remain through that.
That was, I love Psalms 1. Actually, it's a scripture that has been part of my life for a long time, just the idea of where you're planted and things. But the one thing that if you're not careful, life, stuff, busyness, even good things can distract you from remaining where you should be. And that was really a big challenge, that was just this morning. That was actually my devotion for this morning too, is that out of Psalms 1. And it's funny, just how do you just remain? And you better stay planted, because those roots are the only thing keeping you there.
It's true.
When the water washes up and the storms come in, when you have a baby that you're like, or you have a young lady. How old is she now?
She's 12 now.
12, man.
Crazy.
And that doesn't even talk about the craziness of running a nonprofit. And, so it's interesting. But yeah, how to find places to remain. And I'd say to anybody out there, whatever it is in you, those places you want to make sure you're getting fed, just make sure you're remaining. Find ways to stick in there, and don't wander.
Well, I have a question for you now. No, but not too personal. But you recently overcame an issue with your health, and life is precious. Do you think that whole sequence of events kind of helped you refocus a little bit? Oh,
it changed me without question. So anybody out there, it's not personal. It's actually on the news. It's everywhere.
I'll let you say the story.
Yeah. So I had a brain tumor that I found out about just almost 2 years ago, and then it was taken out just about a year and a half ago. And I ended up losing my whole left side. I call it I'm the boy who lived, because I think the doctors are a little surprised I lived enough that they made a video about it.
You named the tumor too, right?
Clyde.
Clyde, that's right.
If your name is Clyde, it's nothing personal. But we didn't know anybody named Clyde.
Oh, that's funny.
We didn't know.
We didn't know.
I think I even saw a shirt.
Yeah. My
mom,
fan. Yeah.
Your mom, Chris, made
Not
it.
Today, Clyde. Is my brother made that shirt. Well, and the one thing that happens in life is we all start running on this treadmill. It's just constant, like you mentioned the book, whatever. And these are all good concepts, but I promise you, when you stop to write your goodbye letters to your kids and your wife, because you don't know you'll be there the next day. I have those letters. Well, a friend of mine has those letters because I had given them to them just in case something happened. It makes some things not so important. It reminds you that the stuff that everyone else expect all you want. It doesn't change what I'm going to do. Yeah. And it's not just for your family, though those are the most precious, but it's also for, the people that are going to be in your life. Maybe you don't even know yet.
Wow.
For me, I really want to live a life that no matter what happens with an election, no matter what, any of it, I want to be where the Lord has me. And of course, someone's going to say, well, of course you will be. That's where you'll end up. Well, you can say that, but there's a part that God gives us a free will to make some decisions. And then there's a part that he helps guide us. And I'd rather not fight him. I'd rather let him be my guide. And I think we tend to fight him a lot. Even good, godly Christian men and women, people who are close to God all over the place. And And so I don't want to fight him. I want to accept what he has, but I want to work hard at what I do. And so, but it has changed me. It changes. Here's one thing it did. It makes me more present. Like when I'm here right now with you guys, I'm just here. I really am here. Yeah. I'm here talking to you, listening to you, where there was probably times where it would be easy to think of the next meeting or the next thing on your calendar. And I don't want to do that. When I'm with my wife, I just want to be with my wife. Yeah. Today she got back in town. We went and had brunch, and
that's great.
It didn't matter the schedule. Didn't matter. I don't care what anybody else wanted to do. And when we were done, we were done. We just spent time together, and that kind of precious stuff needs to be thought about.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't always think about that. So that's a great reminder to be present where we are, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, even doing the podcast, sometimes I'm thinking about other things, or in a lot of my heart and the way I feel is currently with my wife and my future son, because she's having real contractions. The doctor says they're real contractions, and sometimes 2 minutes apart. And normally that means go to the hospital. Not for her. It's not Braxton Hicks. It's real. It's real. Mm-hmm. And but it's not. Does not mean she has to go to the hospital. So she's in this weird limbo state now, where she has to stay home on bed rest, and it's so even here sometimes when I need to be I need to be caring for my wife, of course, but also be present in this conversation, right? Mm-hmm. It's that mix. It's that both and. It's that how do we do that practically? And it's easier when I've already built a relationship with someone like you, right? Or a relationship with my brother Chaz, right? It's that concept that it's easier to have those walls already taken down with people you trust and that you care about, which you are someone I trust and I care about. And same with Chaz. What was that
little
smirk?
Pause there when you looked at me.
but that hey, you know what? It's easy. It feels like we've had a continual conversation. Yeah. That keeps going when we're talking. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it's that continual conversation, and I have that with my wife, and I have that for other people that I have those deep relationships with. Mm-hmm. Because you're right. At the end, what matters?
Well, and that's exactly it. And a piece of that does matter, and I think I'm here for a particular reason. I think you are, and I think you are, and I believe with my whole heart. And one of those might be the next person you meet that you don't even know yet. And I think of the Lord's life and how he walked. If I was walking in his shoes, would the leper have actually been healed? Because would I even gone up to the leper? Right. And would I have even would I have been grossed out and said, "You're dirty," because leper was, you wouldn't even spend time with that person. Yeah. And I think that's a great story because he reached out. I mean, even before he healed. See, for me, I would have healed the leper and then touched him. Yeah. But that's not how the Bible says. No. The Bible says Jesus reached out and touched him and then said, "You're healed." I think that's backwards. Yeah. I don't know. Go get cleaned up. No more sickness, and then I'll hug you.
That's how we act at church life.
That's my point. That's my point. And so if we're not careful, are we in the moment correctly? Are we representing correctly? Yeah. And obviously, I mean, you're in a season where your wife and kid has so much. I mean, I respect that with my whole heart. But at the same time, as life and seasons go, it's just something that's been on my heart, trying to figure out how do I slow down and remain in him and know where he wants me. But
yeah, that matters. Powerful. That really matters. We hearing some of the stories here at Good Shepherd when people are getting close, people that have lost their homes, people that have, it hits different for sure. Like that concept that I have what I have today. I have my family today. I have my wife today. I have my future son soon, right? And so I have all these things, but those could be gone tomorrow. Mm-hmm. I could be gone tomorrow, right?
Well, and that's the reality of what I had to learn
Yeah.
We tend to think we're invincible because that's the one thing. The only difference between me and you is I got to name the thing that could have killed me. You have no idea what you could find out tomorrow, and I'm gonna outlive all y'all. I just kidding.
No,
but,
I hope so.
but the idea, we don't know.
You're going to be 105. We're going to beat you down to Veterans
People
Memorial.
watching this are saying, "Is he really their friend?" I don't think he's their friend.
No, I always say this to Chaz. I'm like, dude, I pick on you a lot. You know that means I care about you, right? He's like, yeah.
Nika picks on me too, your wife, but I don't think she cares.
Oh, she cares. She
just
cares. No, yeah, it's having these deeper conversations really matters, and thinking about tomorrow is really not promised, and to make the most of today. And that's part of the reason we talk about the events. That's why we talk about upcoming things in the community. So then it's shared memories with people, or creating new memories with new friends. And because you never know who that next person in your life that you're guided to meet is, right? There's so many people in this area. I mean, there's not a lot, but there's enough for sure. There's enough for sure that guaranteed if you're going to an event, you're not going to know everyone.
Totally.
So to be able to have new experiences, to be able to talk to people more, to be able to be a part of what's happening in the community is more than just I'm a body here at this event. No, I'm a human being, and that person selling that purse is also a human being, right? Strike up a conversation.
Totally.
Be more than just. Be more than present, be actually present.
Right, which there is a difference. There's definitely a difference.
Yeah.
Well, how do you show people they're valuable? That's the real, I don't believe we get the opportunity, according to Scripture, to treat somebody better or worse because God said they're all valuable. So if it becomes a very interesting concept as you walk around. And, even people who aren't kind to you. I mean, believe me, there are people not kind to me sometimes, and I'm all...
Are there?
No way.
There are.
Yeah.
Whoa.
There are. And I'm like, I want to hug them. I tend to want to hug them. But at the same time, there's times they get under my skin, and I'm like... And I feel like, wait a minute. I don't know what's going on in their day. How do I value that person? It's tough. Well, I do have a question for you.
Okay.
What advice would you give this young man before he becomes a father?
Ooh, that's a good one. I would say enjoy your sleep while you can.
There's truth there.
And then don't let me buy the Christmas presents the first year because there's going to be some really loud toys.
Hey, dude, little Stevie's going to be right here during the podcast. Just letting you know. He's going to be like, hi.
No, I will say one thing. I was working a lot. I was in sales management and retail management when my daughter was born, and I was working so many hours that I didn't slow down. And this is me saying this to you and encouraging you as the executive director that you have my support and doing it on air because I know you don't listen to this very well. But slowing down and taking the time off that you need to really be present with your child and have those memories and really just take them in. Take in those laughs, take in the cries, the naps when they fall asleep on your chest because they go so quick and you never get that back.
That's important. I'd also say, and adding to that special moment that you have, I think our kids will act like us whether you want them to or not. And what you tend to try to hide the things you don't want them to do, but they see it. And so they're watching, they're listening. And so almost in a very real way, it's almost like they're the fruit of your life, in a very real way. So the more you invest in the nutrients of your own life and you being healthy and you being planted correctly, Psalms 1, and you'll find that your children, in my case, they grab that. And sometimes it seems like they don't at all. But my oldest is turning 30 and my youngest is 26. And I love listening to some of them. They're close. They're my closest friends next to my wife at this point, and I love it. And it's funny listening to them, though. They sound good and bad.
Yeah, like you guys.
Like me. They have very bad humor, like me. It's funny listening to them, but your child's going to be the same way. The things, they'll, even that the things that are most precious to you, they'll understand that. Not because you tell them, but because it's genuine. The genuine does bleed through.
Yeah.
And the non-genuine doesn't. I don't know how to say that. There are people that I see try to tell their kids all kinds of things, whether it's about faith or whatever. And if it's not genuine, it does not bleed through. I mean, it's nice sounds for the wall, but it doesn't bleed through like it should. So
You're going to make mistakes. It's how
Oh,
you rectify
totally.
those mistakes or try to change it and learn from them and move forward.
No, I'm going to do everything different. I'll be better than everyone.
well, you already are.
Oh, I was joking.
Except you don't eat meat, whatever you're
Right.
I
I was
know.
like, wait a minute.
One thing I did do, and this is something that I'm so glad I did. When my kid was born that morning, I wrote him a letter.
Oh, that's awesome.
And you save it for him. And and then for each of my boys, and I did this for 6 years for each of them, as I took a Bible and my devotions, I would sit and add the little things in it, and I'd write what I'm feeling, but it was to them.
That's so cool.
So each of them have a Bible that they actually get to, they have to
That's
this
amazing.
day. And they have it, and both kids keep it, and they share that. Is it time?
Yeah, that's what
No, I know. I got 2 phone calls. It was my sister, so I wonder if she's dropping us. food or something.
Sisters always interrupt.
Sisters. Story of
have
my
a
life.
sister.
Yeah, no, it. I think that's great advice, and anyone listening, I hope you take it too. Life is precious, and every moment matters, and truly, life is precious. I mean, I've had friends who have completed suicide. I've had friends who have lost their lives in accidents, and people I was very close to, and it's hard. It's really hard. To one day they're there, and then one day they're not. They were part of your regular everyday life, and they're no longer there. And just I think reminding myself that, because I get so wrapped up in the everyday. I really do. That's my temptation. And just okay, what checklist do I have today? And then I focus so much on that, like what I said earlier. What's best next, right? Which is a great book. If you are looking for a book, read that book. It's a great productivity book. But the reason I justify it to myself, and sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not, but the reason I justify it to myself is I am doing all the things so that I can be free for my family.
Well,
Sometimes it's
that's
true.
important, yeah.
Sometimes it's not, though. Sometimes I lie to myself, if that makes sense.
Well, I'm a list guy. I have lists that go, and I have to get things done, just like you. And so there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. But you just got to leave room to get lost in there a little bit. You got to leave room, because if you're not careful, you'll run over other people in the midst of caring for people.
Yeah.
And that's just a thing that, at least for me, my goal is to. And it was ever since this happened, my sickness especially, is just trying to find ways to slow down. I've gotten off some boards that I was on, and I've said no to things people have asked me to do, and and so I don't just say yes to everything. I really think about it, and it's not because there's room on my schedule. It's that, wait a minute, I want to be home with my wife.
Right.
Yeah.
And doing nothing. It's not.
Right.
I mean, I could fill my schedule with thing after thing after thing.
Sure.
Or I can start saying, no, I just want to be home with my wife, so we can throw a ball with the dogs and hang out.
You have a really cute dog, by the way.
Talking about throwing a ball, or I guess I should say bone. What would you like to talk about? How can people support you? How can people be a part of what you're doing? Would you like to talk about the memorial? Would you like to talk about your campaign, or whatever you'd like to share with our community?
So I'd say in the campaign, that piece of it, share people. If you want to just tell people what you know about me, tell the truth. And I mean that with my whole heart, is that if you don't think you should vote for me, tell your friends. There's days I might think, what do I want to do? Who am I? And I hopefully live a life of integrity and consistency. But with that said, the campaign we're about 3 weeks out, and I'll be right where I think the Lord has me, and I want to win, but at the same time, it'll be what it is, and it's not at all costs, obviously. I'll continue to serve one way or another. Mm-hmm. Now, when it comes to the memorial on November 2nd, we have a new bench that we just put in. That's kind of exciting. We had a girl named Priyasha. She's 18 years old, and she used to be a Girl Scout, and she saved some money up, and she wanted to do something for veterans, and so we created this generational bench, so grandparents and parents can go down and sit with their kids and tell them their stories.
That's awesome.
And so it's at the memorial, November 2nd at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock, we're going to be gathering. So you'll see it out in the news and everything like that.
Okay.
And so that's coming, but it's going to be exciting. And it's a place for people to tell their story and make sure that people know. So the memorial's obviously very important to me. Okay. So our veterans are important. But I have a lot of different things like that kind of float through my brain that I care about very much. But but probably at this point, what's on my heart more than anything is when I think of you guys is that your families. So I'd ask people to continue to pray for the proper balance that needs to be there. But I love being dad, and I get to be a little ahead of you guys. I found out I'm gonna be a grandparent. Well, I'm already a grandparent, but I have a second one coming in February. So I have two,
That's awesome.
But I just want to tell you how cool it is to watch these seasons of life. And so my encouragement to others, continue to live a life that matters and hold me accountable. If I'm not practicing what I preach, I'm interested in hearing about that. But I think living out how we should. I'm excited. I do believe that I'm in the right spot and that I should serve another 4 years. But we'll find that out on November 6th.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. We really appreciate it. It's been a great conversation. This is your third time on our show. You are probably one of the most returned guests, I think, right?
And Donald Abbott's going to be mad because he's beat the record of the longest podcast.
He did. Yeah.
You have to let him know.
Yeah, so thank you so much for being on. We really appreciate it. And definitely if you want to find out more about Kristopher Dahir, what's your campaign website?
It's Kristopher website is, if you go to KristopherDahir.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Dahir.
Yeah, so definitely check them out, find out more, have those conversations in the community that I think that matters, especially in local politics, to be talking with people and just having conversations. Yeah. It tends to be a weird, awkward subject for people, but just having conversations about what matters to you, right, personally, as a human being, matters. Mm-hmm. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. Is there anything you'd like to add, Chaz?
No, that was just a lot of fun. Thank you for being here and taking the time. And I always learn a lot from you, so I appreciate you investing that time.
Yeah. And if you want to find out more about Good Shepherd's Clothes Closet, please visit getclothes.org. We're always looking for volunteers.
Any fireworks for Kristopher?
Any fireworks? I don't know.
Oh, there's a thumbs
up. Please visit getclothes.org.
Oh.
There's fireworks for all the audio listeners. There's fireworks on the screen. You can switch over to video.
You got to keep reminding us. I forget that.
I know.
Not everybody's
we have a lot of audio listeners, and so thank you guys for listening and being part of it and helping us grow and move forwards in the community. And we help 700 people plus, even more with that with our microcloset expansion project. A month. We're asking you to come alongside and help one. All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Take care. Thank you.
We appreciate it.